Dear press, members of the public, citizens of the Turkey Republic, the citizens of East Turkestan and the supporters of this valuable cause, the freedom of East Turkestan and the freedom of the Uyghur people. I began by thanking firstly to the creator of the universe, whose power exceeds any powers in the world, whose mercy covers any mercy to any human being living on the face of the earth. And I begin by thanking to the Republic of Turkey for its constitutional rights, for its civil rights, political rights, to allow us to stand on this land, to express our strongest condemnations against the Chinese regime, against the terrorist state, against the terror nation who has occupied East Turkestan for the last 73 years' time. On the 13th of anniversary of one of the darkest pages of the history, which is known as 5th July 2009 massacre, has been well covered by the world media, countries, nations, and the people around the world by its vilifications of the international laws and the Chinese domestic laws, which humiliated the Uyghur people, looted, killed, murdered, arrested the innocent citizens of East Turkestan. On this day, there was a bloodshed on the streets of Urumqi. There was a bloodshed in the streets of the different parts of East Turkestan. And it was a part of the continuations of a 70 years of Chinese occupations terror policy that conducted against one particular nation called Uyghur and the other Turkic people of East Turkestan. We are here not to fabricate the stories, nor to seek your sympathy, to say sorry to you. We want to listen, but it is so hard for you to digest. We are here to giving you a message, to wake up call, to wake up your humanity, shake up your hearts. Ask your question, a simple question. Am I related to this cause of East Turkestani people, which has been humiliated, terrorized, attacked, now being subjected to the genocide policies of the Chinese government, Chinese military forces, Chinese economic power, Chinese political expansionist policies, including but not limited to the One Belt and Road initiatives, which is also working for the civil interest, political interest of the Chinese nation, a hunger nation that has been attacking the rights of the civilians living in its borders and its beyond. Today, China not only violating the rights of the Uyghur people of East Turkestan, but with its vilification policies, political expansionist policies, military expansions, economic influences, and also other corruption policies. They are influencing the Middle East, South America, Southeast Asia, Turkey, and the other Arab nations. That's why we are unable to recognize the level of genocide that has been committed by the Chinese government, Chinese institutions, Chinese people, and the Chinese economy. As I speak today, my brothers and sisters, the entire nation of East Turkestan, which hosts 35 million Muslims, 35 million Muslim populated country with an abundant natural resources, on ground, underground, and then civilized history for more than 10,000 years, is becoming a part of the history. It's becoming a forgotten part of the human history. By how? By the Chinese genocide policies and the crimes against the humanities that has been committing against one particular nation, which is relevant to your national interest. Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist China!
Fascist Xi Jinping!
We are here. We are here not to tell you a story in your history books, but we are telling a reality that our mothers are being subjected to the sexual harassment, rape, systematic eradication of the generations, and the sterilizing policies, plus forced marriage to the Han Chinese atheists. Our young generations are being stolen from their homes, taken to the Chinese land. Our healthy men and the women are being subjected to the organ harvesting. Their hearts are taken, liver are taken, lungs are taken, eyes are taken. While you are asleep, in deep sleep, not recognizing the level of genocide committed by a state, a terrorist state, China. China is a terrorist state.
China is a terrorist state.
China is a terrorist state. Holocaust made in China. Terrorism made in China. Holocaust made in China. Mass murder made in China. We all know during the 1940s, when the Second World War, the Nazi Germany attacked, killed, murdered the Jewish community. What we said, the global world said, never again. But never again is happening again today in East Turkestan. This is a reality that a painful agony of a nation's, of your national interest. Why I say your national interest? Because Uyghur people are related by blood to your national interest. Uyghur people are related to your economic interest, to your political interest, and the preservers of this great country called Republic of Turkey. Why? The interest of this nation has been loved, cared, protected by the peace-loving East Turkestani nations for many centuries. We have been loyal to your national interests, your governance, your system and your society. We love this country more than we love ourselves. That's why we sacrifice everything that while we come here to settle, to find peace, to seek your help, to get your assistance to defeat our enemy. Your enemy, enemy of Islam, enemy of the humanity, which is known terrorist China.
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China!
Terrorist China! Terrorist China!
Just last month, not last year, last month of 2022, more than 50 countries around the world, including Australia, America, European countries, and the other small countries in East Europe, Southeast Asia, Latin America, they stood up. They say China must stop the genocide practices against the Uyghur nations. That's why we are here, to deliver a message to say, break your silence. Break your silence, wake up your humanity, shake your heart, wake up and to say, no to genocide! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for Uyghur! Justice we want! China out! Out! By our painful story, agonies, the multiple testimonies has been accepted by the Uyghur Tribunal in UK, by the human rights organizations, United Nations Human Rights Committee, Human Rights Council, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and the other civil organizations around the world has confirmed that the atrocities committed by the Chinese state is nothing but a genocide. It is a genocide by its own nature. Why? By international law, by international norms. Genocide means, killing of the people, restrictions of the freedom. Yes, today there is no single freedom for the Uyghur people in East Turkestan. Our masjids are closed, religious institutions are destroyed, our civil rights are hijacked, our economic resources are taken, our young women, children are being sexually harassed, assaulted by the Chinese people. Our country has been taken. That's why this is a wake-up call to any countries who are not able to realize the real danger, real threat of the Chinese nation. China has soft power, economic power to influence any of the countries who does not care about the human rights, who does not care about the Mazlumin, who does not care about the human rights. But do not forget, China comes with a hidden agenda. Last 70 years, our country was a resourceful country, a big country with multiple resources would be enough for that country to sustain for many centuries. East Turkestan is going to be one of the richest countries in the world. But China came with that hidden agenda. In the last 7 decades, everything is taken. How long we have started our diplomatic ties with China? You ask, in the Turkish market, supermarket chains, brands, economic ties, our export, import, and the other bilateral transactions with China is now exceeding that our public is unable to resist. Our police force, armed force, political group are unable to resist the Chinese expansion in Turkey. That's why we call Turkey and the other countries around the world has an obligation, listen to me, has an obligation, legal obligation, political obligation, economic obligation, humanitarian obligation to protect the dignity of the Uyghur citizens living in Turkey and living in East Turkestan. The international community has an obligation to step up, to stand up, to stop, to halt the genocide committed by the Chinese government. The media, the public, and the 80 million Turkish citizens has legal, political, economic, humanitarian, and a religious obligation to protect, defend East Turkestan, regain the independence of East Turkestan. Urumqi, lest we forget. Urumqi, lest we forget.
Urumqi, lest we forget.
Urumqi, lest we forget.
Urumqi, lest we forget.
I remind you all, in June 2022, a German scholar whose name is Adrian Zenz has published a multi-page of legal document leaked by the Chinese police force confirming more than 29,000 innocent citizens are locked up only in one small township called Karakash. What about the whole entire East Turkestan? The number could exceed more than 5 million. The concentration camps that has been established by the Chinese state inside East Turkestan exceeding 1,200. Why and how? Why? Number one, China has a policy, an agenda to eradicate the preservers of the Uyghur culture, religion, and the public. Secondly, China wants to achieve a permanent stability in East Turkestan by destroying our country, destroying our political sovereignty, economic integrity, and the civil rights. Chinese state not only hijacked our resources, but only fabricating stories around the globe, telling the countries not to trust these groups, these people. But I can challenge the Chinese consul in this country, Chinese ambassador to Turkish Republic, to come up to speak to me if he has a gut. We say China is a terrorist state.
China is a terrorist.
China is a terrorist state.
China is a terrorist state.
United Nations human rights declarations to state every citizen of this earth has rights to move, has rights to settle, has rights to get citizenship. That's why it is your obligations to approve the citizenship of these people of your blood. Plus, you can do more at the international forums by your bilateral dialogue with China, by your influence with the NATO countries, like what you have done for enabling the Finland, Sweden to enter NATO just last week. How did we do it? By our economic, political interests. That's why we say only the Ukraine crisis is on the media. Why we only believe the Afghanistan crisis is on the media. Why we say the Syrian crisis is on the media. Whereas the situation of East Turkestan is highly and largely exceeding the all level of genocide that has been suffering by the humanity. That's why we say, China, stop genocide!
China, stop genocide!
China is a terrorist state!
China is a terrorist state!
Terrorism made in China!
Terrorism made in China!
Holocaust made in China!
Holocaust made in China!
My last but not least advice to my citizens, my loved people of East Turkestan. This group have created, have generated, have initiated a legendary cause that can shaken up the whole world. With our blood, with our sacrifice, the world has recognized the evil nature of the Chinese state. That's why we say, China is a terrorist state!
China is a terrorist state!
Freedom for East Turkestan!
Freedom for East Turkestan!
People of East Turkestan living in Urumqi, Kashgar, Artuç, Humul, Korla, Aksu, Hotan, and all different corners of my beloved country. We don't forget you, and we have not forgotten you. We will fight until we die. We will fight until we die. We will fight until we die. Freedom for East Turkestan.
Freedom for East Turkestan!
Thank you all. And my name is Nurmuhammad. I came from a long journey from Australia. And thank you for hosting me today. Thank you for the Turkish police forces who is protecting the order, and also the civil organizations, the media group, and my beloved sisters and the brothers, mothers and the fathers. Thank you all.
Allahu Akbar.